reporting and dashboards. He'll go over scheduled automatic reports, reporting yearly statistics, filtering and reporting on custom fields, and the use of the dashboards. Just a reminder, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them through on the chat or on the Q&A, and we will address those at the end of the presentation. So let's see, Peter, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter.
Okay.
And you should be able to go ahead and share your screen from there.
I don't see nothing popped up to share my screen.
Oh, okay. So if you just go in the top left-hand corner next to File and Edit, the next drop-down is Share,
Yep.
and then you should be able to share your desktop from there.
Okay, great. All right.
Perfect, and I can see it.
Great. Okay, sorry everyone for being late. I couldn't get logged into WebEx. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a few things, as Amy mentioned. We've got a few things in our location that we have to keep track of. One is our secure IDs, which expire randomly at the end of every month. We also keep track of mileage because we do have to travel for our work. And I was having an issue with tracking my invoices on my purchase card, so I've also created another custom field as well to bring up every month when I've purchased something on my card. And I'll also show you how we do our year end. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how I got all this tied in and working. So basically, I've had to create some custom field setups to do this reporting. So I've created three custom fields. The first one is the secure IDs. So as you can see, I've created a secure ID category option, and I've added serial number and expiry date. So then what I do from there is we get a serial number and an expiry date, whether it's 4 years down the road. I'll show you how I tie that in with the reporting. But I create the custom fields to report on what I'm looking for. I also created a mileage custom field, which I put on every category and every category option, because I never know where I have to travel or what I have to do at any location, as we do have 16 other locations. And I also created an invoice, which I'll show you. So I'm just going to click on this one, and I'm going to edit it just to show you what I did. So it's called invoice. It's a drop-down list with a yes and no question. I put no first because we normally don't have to buy anything for everything. So no is always the default. And I left the location, the group, the category, and the category option blank because I wanted to apply to all. And that applies to the mileage as well. So from there, you just save your new custom field. And I just want to go back and show you the secure ID just to show you the difference. So the difference is it's a text field for the serial number. And, oh, sorry, I created two for that one. It's called expiry. It's called expiry date. So the expiry date is another text field, which I put in the expiry date of the secure ID. So I've left it with all. And let's just go show you what it looks like. So if I do a new ticket, I'll just create any location. And the category option I put under users. You can put it wherever you wish, but there's a secure ID object here, category option. So as you can see, this pops up the serial number and the expiry date. So if the expiry date was, let's say, this month, put the expiry date in. Now, you can't exactly run a report off this expiry date, so what I've done is I've gone up here and created the date for the first day of the month so that I can run the report according to the first of the month. I'll just cancel that just to show you. Also, there is a mileage yes and no question, plus with the standard distances of what we have to travel. And there's the invoice yes and no. So once that's in the system, I'll go show you exactly what it's going to look like. So now if I want to, so now if we go to, I've got to log in as myself, sorry. So now let's go set up the filters, or I'll show you what the filters look like. So the first one on my list is monthly invoices. So I say it's assigned to me, and the estimated completion date, I want the last 33 days, which will get anything that may be before or after my month end, and then the invoice equals yes. So what that means is anything in the last 33 days where the invoice equals yes, it's going to give me the ticket number, location, subject, and all the information I'm looking for to be able to reconcile my purchase card. And if we apply the filter, I don't think I have any. I may, but we'll see. And look at that, I have two. So if you click on the ticket, it gives you all the information of what you need in the filter. That's just a good way to check to make sure the filter is actually working. So the other filters, just pretty much the same thing. It's assigned to me last 35 days, and the mileage does not equal no, so I want everything that has a value other than no in it. And the other one I did was secure IDs. So the only thing I have in here is the expiry date contains a 2. So I had to figure out a way to get the secure IDs to match up with a criteria, and the expiry date is going to have a 2 in it because of the year 2012. So it'll actually come up and populate anything with something in that field that contains a 2, which is in this month, estimated completion date this month. So once your filters are set up, we can go in and we can set up the reporting. So as you can see, here's my reporting page, and I've got 2 of these on active, which is my secure IDs expiring and my monthly mileage report. So if we go in and edit this, or pretend you're creating a new one, you give it a name, and then you choose your ticket filter. So whatever you have set up in your ticket filter to filter on your report, then you choose that. I always mark it private, and depending on what it is, you may not want to do that, but it is personal to you and nobody else, so I mark it private. I want to see the detail, and I want to report by the date because actually this one doesn't need to be reported by date. because it's going to end the same day anyway. So you can group it by technician or group down to something even more. I choose not to, just because I'm only looking for the ones that are expiring. And then this is all personal preference, alphabetically, PDF. You get PDF, HTML, Excel, or CSV. If you decide to use the HTML, you can actually click on the tickets to see what it's about, and it takes you to a direct link to the ticket, which is a good feature. Then we have the report on a schedule. So this is where you set up if you wanted to do it automatically or what have you. I do it monthly on the first day of every month, and it never ends. So basically I want it to go forever until I tell it to stop. Then you fill out your email message information, so my address, subject, and the body, and then you go ahead and save that report. Now the monthly mileage report is a little different. I choose my report, and I want to report by location because I want to know first where I've gone, and I've chosen for some reason to choose the status, whether it's open, closed, or what have you. Report HTML format because I have to be able to go back and say why I went there, and I want to see a graph at the bottom. The report, I run it monthly, and the 24th day is normally when our month-end car mileage thing is due. So that's why I have that 35 days, just to give me the little extra leeway to show me if I've missed anything, and then I can go back and see, oh yeah, I've gone there already, so I don't bother putting that in. And I set it up to never expire, and then I put my message in, and away I go. So now if we run this report, it shows where I've gone, and because it's HTML, I can click on the ticket, and it'll actually show me all the details of what I need to fill out my mileage. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you, the invoice works exactly the same as the expiring secure IDs, where you just say I want it to equal this month. The estimated completion date is this month, which is very important that you fill in if you want to be able to report on the month. And then I just choose invoice equals yes, and it'll report everything on any invoice custom field that has yes. And this all emails it to me in a nice little report, and I can hand that into my manager. Now, the year-end stuff. So how we do our year-end stuff is when we, let's see, let me pick an asset. So here's what our assets look like. And what I have is I have a spreadsheet created with all of the category headings, so asset number, name, asset type, and so on and so on. And the way I found to do the year end is I put a lease expiry date. So our computers have a 3-year lifespan, and our year starts on April 1st of that year. And so I put in the lease expiry date of April 1st, 3 years from the time we get them. So from there, we can actually set up a filter for, where is year end? I'll create a new one. So let's call it year end 2012. Now you got to look in this list for lease expiry date. maybe there isn't one in here. Okay, scrap that. Let's go to assets. Now let's do a report. Yeah, this is how we do it. Sorry, this is not where I want to be. I want to do a filter. Here we go. Sorry. So many ways to do things in this software. It's great. So I've created a PC replacement list, and I want it in Excel format so that I can manipulate it. And I want to group it by category option. So the category is PC hardware, and I want everything in the category option hardware with desktop, workstation, laptop, and toughbooks, which is what all of our options are. And the lease expiry date, I want to turn that on, a particular date, which is this year. So then if I apply the filter, and of course I don't have Excel on here. Let me change the format. Save. That's better. Okay, so if I had Office installed on here, I would have showed you it in Excel, but I don't. So anyway, this is what we, everything that's expiring in this year according to their category option of desktop, workstation, toughbook, and laptop. So as you can see, that's how we do our year-end report, and we're able to pretty much figure out how many PCs, laptops, toughbooks, every piece of hardware that needs to be exchanged or replaced in 3 years, what we need to buy for the upcoming year. That's all I had on the reporting type stuff. Now, Amy also wanted me to touch base on the dashboards and how we use them here. So this is all done on filters as well. And filters is a very important part of HelpDesk and getting you the reports and the needs that you actually want to see. So we created one called, let me just back up here a little bit and show you exactly the filters we're using. We have to do computer setups, and whether it's for training or any type of like webinars or anything like that, we have to set that up. So I've got to go back to see what we're using. Sorry. Well, I guess that was removed by mistake. Setup. Oh, I have to log in as admin. Sorry. Because it's not private, or it's, sorry, private, not public. Okay. So now if we go back to my filters, we've got the communication setup, which basically says I want to see status does not equal closed, because if you don't have that, it'll show everything. The category option, I want it to equal our category options for a particular type of training, and I want the estimated completion date today. Now, normally what we do here is the estimated completion date. If it's a big setup, we will set it for the day before so that it will notify us of the setup and so that we have enough time to get it done for the next day. The other one is loaner equipment. If people want to loan out computer equipment, we have a status called loaner equipment, and it lets us know when it's due back today. So if we go back to the dashboard, we've set this up a little different because we report on all of our tickets as well, excluding the comm setup. So within the filter, I say I don't want to see any comm setup stuff, so everything else. So this normally is a big graph. So in order that we could actually read it and make it legible, we had to set up these test rows here. So basically we could say all tickets, we want it to span 2 columns. There is a bug within the system that doesn't allow it by default to span 2, so we had to create some test rows and columns to allow us to do the column span of 2. So once it's set up, this is actually what we see. So we've got something covering we've got our calendar covering this part, so customers don't see that when they walk in. So basically, we have no comp set up today or no loaner equipment due back today, but we can also see what we have that we need to do, what the categories are, and the locations that we need to do. So a lot of people who have meetings in our location come in and look at our TV that's on the wall so that they can see, oh yeah, there's a meeting here, and there's no setup involved. We'll just go in and go to our meeting. There's dashboards, you can have whatever you want in them. I know a couple of our managers have their technicians, they have technician filters set up, and they see what they have active and closed, and they have that in their own little dashboard so that they can see their daily stats and what they've been up to. Well, I think that's all I have for now, Amy. Is there anything else you wanted me to touch up on?
No, I think that you had covered everything that we talked about. Thank you for all the great information, Peter.
No problem.
I did see one question come through so far. How do you keep up the asset list in everything HelpDesk? Is it manual import?
It's all manual import, but we have a barcode scanner. So basically, I have my Excel spreadsheet set up. I'm not working on my laptop to show you the spreadsheet, but basically what happens is I've got all the categories and the options set up at the top with the labels, and most everything we buy is the same model number, so it's just a matter of copying and pasting. And then with the barcode scanner, it's just a matter of setting all the machines up in a row and just clicking on each barcode to import your serial number, your asset tag number, and all that. And once you have that in your Excel CSV file, HelpDesk makes it really easy to import this type of file. So I may have one on my personal drive, but I do actually. So you say Excel CSV. The first line is always a row of labels. So then if you load your file, this is where you do your mapping. So for me, it's the right-hand side is actually picking up the labels from the CSV file. So then it's just a matter of matching them up. I tried to keep them, in order, so that it was just click down to the next one, the next one, the next one, so on and so on. And then once you get that all set up, you hit import, and it should import. And if it doesn't, you can call the great support at GroupLink, and they will get you to go through your log files to see exactly what the problem is. I had a problem actually importing this spreadsheet, but I remembered calling them previously to check my logs, and it told me that the date and time format was wrong, so I just had to go in and reformat the Excel CSV file to the correct format. And that's it. Any other questions?
All right, perfect. I haven't seen any other questions at this time, but again, just another reminder, if you do have questions, feel free to put those through on the chat or on the Q&A. We'll give it just a couple minutes to see if any more come through. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. So again, I want to thank you, Peter, for your time and for the great presentation. And then thank you all for attending.
Thank you for having me, and sorry I was late.
Oh, no, it's fine. There's always technical difficulties that seem to pop up, so it's not a problem. And thank you all for your patience as we got that set up. Okay, so just another reminder before we finish up here today, you feel free to connect with us. We are on Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. And thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email.